Some stuff. Now, it's a very, very exciting time of the year with the Loeries, the 34th annual Loerie Awards taking place on the 22nd and 23rd of September. Very, very cool stuff. And this morning we are joined by Mr. Mike Pearson. He's the chairman of the student judging panel at the awards and is here to tell us what we can expect from our young creative minds this year. Dude, how are you doing?
All right, and you, man?
Good, man. I see you budding up there, Mr. Bob.
Couldn't resist me.
Exactly. So, listen, man, let's start off at the beginning. What can we expect from our student entries this year? Very, very cool stuff.
Well, you know what was nice? Obviously I've been involved in the Loeries for the last few years, and the student work's always been good, but there's always been one or two standout pieces, and then the rest of the work was okay. But we've been through hundreds of pieces already. We judged the whole of yesterday, and we got the whole of today.
Yeah.
And I mean the volume of work's amazing, and the quality.
Yeah.
And right across the board, we've got student filmmakers producing amazing, ads that are better than some of the ads on TV. We're listening to radio today, which has all got to be produced as well. And then obviously the print and design work is incredible. You got 30, 40 pieces of amazing design from guys who have to produce everything themselves, which I think is really makes it interesting. When you look at a work a company creates, it can sometimes be added to or buffed up by work that other people have done, illustrators and that sort of thing. But when you look at these students, they've had to produce everything themselves on their own time, on their own budget, and some of the stuff they create is really, really out there. Yeah. So it's really nice to know that these guys are actually coming into the industry next year. Sort of challenge us for our jobs.
Definitely. We're talking about, let's say, last year's students. I mean, they set the bar pretty high when it came to the Loeries. What, do you expect the standards to be raised this year a little bit?
I think, obviously, it wanes and ebbs in certain categories. I think the design this year will be slightly better, but then obviously we'll see across some of the other categories we haven't judged yet. I think we've got some pieces we can show you just now as well.
Let's take a look at those pieces. We have two winners from last year, Loerie Award winners. Let's take a look at them quickly. We can right now. You can tell us what we have here this morning.
This was the one I wanted to actually talk about, which is an interesting thing. This is a thing that a guy actually out of PE at the time did.
Yeah.
So, everyone thinks of PE as a bit of a backwater of advertising, but this guy Loerie did this amazing illustration and design campaign for a clothing and sort of street brand he wanted to start called Cultured. And he actually ended up winning 2 gold student Loeries, which is a bit sort of unheard of.
Wow.
And my agency, 140 BBDO, actually ended up hiring him at the ceremony off the back of this work.
Unbelievable.
So I think it's a great case study for the sort of ethos behind the student Loeries, that it actually lets the cream rise to the top and everyone notice them.
Exactly. So, and what do we have here?
Oh, this is all posters, and then it's all based on sort of real little African insights, and then obviously some other stuff he did as well, T-shirts, and I think there might be some skateboards in there as well.
There we go. Wow, look at that.
And what was nice is, he's actually even got these in his office. He had to actually, buy the skateboard decks, paint them himself. He really did a good job.
Sure, but there's some really creative minds out there, and this must be a very busy time of the year for you guys, sitting through all that massive material.
Yeah, I know, but it's great, and it's nice to sort of expand your mind, and also we were all there once.
Yeah.
It's nice that we can help give our guys the sort of leg up that they need. It's not easy finding a job as a young creative out there, I know.
Definitely not. And then we have a National Geographic one as well.
Yeah, this was sort of one of the real standout pieces. This was a calendar they did, and all based on sort of endangered species and that sort of thing. It was a really, really nice piece. As you can see, again, just crazy, crazy levels of craft involved.
That is very, very interesting. Now, what does it mean for, especially as students, entering the brand and advertising market, to actually win or walk away with the Loerie? It must be something amazing.
Well, I think, it's very difficult for these guys coming into the industry because a lot of them come from the same colleges, they've all worked on the same briefs, they invariably have the same lecturers and that, so a lot of the stuff ends up looking the same. So to get out there with a bunch of creative directors who don't have much time, who aren't necessarily the most patient people in the world, to get in there without any kind of preamble is very difficult.
Sure.
But, for one night of the year at the student Loeries, you've got the entire industry, all the captains of that industry, captive, watching your work. And if you can impress them with some work, that really is the way forward.
Exactly.
I think I can check with Andrew, the Loeries chairman, but I would say almost every single person who won a Loerie last year got hired.
Yeah, so it's a brilliant platform.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And just because what it also does is it helps regulate the standard. Students then know what it takes to actually win a Loerie, which is you know, the next step to what it takes to win an actual Loerie the year after.
Exactly. I mean, you need to put some serious effort in year after year to make sure that you stay at top level. Just quickly before we go, there's a new category added to this year's Loeries as well.
Yeah, there's an award for ads produced outside of South Africa, which I think is what the guys are trying to do, is help culture creativity throughout the whole region. Because what's been quite nice is over the last few years watching how, I mean, South Africa's been a powerhouse in advertising for years, but there's never really been much excellence outside of South Africa in terms of advertising. But now if you look at these small pockets of excellence coming out of, like, there's an agency called DDB Mozambique that is based out of Maputo.
Wow.
And they're really doing amazing work. So it's nice to see that sort of thing happening. And obviously then, you know, it also just creates a platform for those guys, much the same as we do for the students.
Show that Africa is someone to compete with.
Exactly.
Exactly. Mike, thank you so much, man.
Thanks for having me.
And all the best for the rest of this week. I know Creative Week is happening. We'll bring you guys more on that a little bit later on. And if you want to find out about the happenings of the Loeries, you can just log onto our website, expressoshow.com. All the info will be there. But don't go anywhere. We're going to take a quick ad break. Get yourself a cup of coffee. We'll be right back.